A Florida Next Foundation Jay-Z Analytics poll of more than 600 Floridians indicates residents are losing faith in the state's economy.
Well, that's right. It seems that 8 in 10 of the people who responded to the poll believe that the state's economy is getting worse, or it's at best stuck in neutral.
This is despite actually some recent news that would indicate that actually the recovery is progressing, that the unemployment rate is improving, and that actually people are moving to Florida once again after that had tailed off for so long.
Well, you're right. There are some bright spots on the horizon. The unemployment rate has come down. But I think that when we uncover some of the results of the poll, it shows that people believe that more than half of Floridians are still live in fear of possibly losing their job. They also believe that 1 in 3 Floridians says that they are working in a job for which they feel that they are overqualified. And you know, it's not fun to go to work every day to get that paycheck in a position that you're not really stimulated by, or you think you have better education or more experience. And so I think all those things build into this feeling of malaise that we have uncovered in this poll.
So many told us that they know people, or a number of people, who have lost their jobs.
Well, that's right. By far a majority of Floridians know somebody who has lost a job, or they've lost the job themselves. And they're not seeing robust hiring in the marketplace yet, so we're just not quite where we need to be.
We also discovered in the poll that many people are struggling with their savings, that indeed many don't even have what would amount to 1 month's salary as savings in their accounts.
This was a very interesting result of the poll, that more than 70% of Floridians are trying to save something every month. But the problem is that their savings only amount to less than 1 month's salary. That is a stunning statistic, and that may be why people realize that they're just one pink slip away from a major financial catastrophe in their lives.
The poll also spends some time addressing our youth, young adults in Florida. And for them, the picture also is disturbing. A majority of them say that they would actively consider moving from Florida for other opportunities. And a majority of respondents in the poll also talked about how our education system isn't serving our youth anymore.
Well, that was probably the big aha for me in the poll results, that 65% of our respondents under the age of 35 would consider leaving the state for a better job opportunity. Now, Victor, this is very serious business. This is an issue that we at the Florida Next Foundation are going to be addressing. We cannot afford to lose our best and our brightest talent away to other states and not create those kinds of meaningful opportunities for them to thrive and maintain a good quality of life.
Well, the poll is not all gloom and doom, and in fact it does point to some possible solutions, and a majority of respondents talked about how they actually still have some faith in our small business base, and that perhaps is the way out of the mess that we find ourselves in.
Well, yes, they do. A majority of Floridians do believe that small businesses are the backbone of the Florida economy, and that the way to grow a stronger foundation for Florida's economy is to support our small businesses. When we ask about this idea of incentives for business, over 70% agreed that it was appropriate to give incentives to small businesses for increasing jobs and increasing employment. By contrast, just over 50% of Floridians agreed that large corporations should be given incentives for job growth. So this again is an area that the Florida Next Foundation is going to be researching and studying to determine how, if we want to give incentives to small businesses, what are the most appropriate ways to do that, and we'll be sharing that with our policymakers.
Another issue that was revealed in the poll is the importance of quality of life in Florida. and a majority of people believe that the quality of life in Florida is just fair or poor, actually, and this drives a number of people away from the state as well. This is something that we're looking at as well at the foundation.
Well, definitely, and that statistic that results over 70% of Floridians believe that we aren't, our education system is not preparing our young people for the jobs of the 21st century. Our education professionals and our parents and business people need to come together and really focus on how we can get our young people prepared to take those meaningful jobs for the 21st century.
And a number of those are connected to energy and the environment as well, green technology, for example.
Yes, there are wonderful opportunities that we're seeing in other countries as well as other states for building the clean economy. And as they say, those jobs go all the way from a GED to a PhD. And why not Florida, the Sunshine State, taking advantage of the enormous growth in the clean economy?
Our poll deals with many other issues. We encourage you to take a look at the poll, which you can find at www.floridanext.org.
And I want to encourage people to look at the poll. I want you to respond back to us. We're on Facebook and Twitter and through our website, and give us your comments about how you feel the Florida economy is going to grow in the future.